Yes.
Yes.
So,
Hi, everybody from Maine.
hello. 12 participants. It's amazing.
Yeah, awesome. Okay, so we're really excited and so appreciative that everyone was able to join today and that everyone's excited about the review process. We're very excited to share the new innovations that we listed. So just a big thank you to everyone here who's participating. And just a reminder that the Academy members who review the most innovations, and also when we talk about most innovation, also quality innovation. So quality comments, meaning that you've really looked in and kind of dive deep into the innovation pages. So the 3 Academy members who do the most will be invited to the Innovation Summit in November. So that's really exciting. So we'll see, hopefully, some of you there.
Yes. So this webinar is just to give you an overview of what will be happening and to address any questions that you may have. So the first part will just outline the whole process, and then the second part will give everyone an opportunity to ask questions, ask for clarification, and hopefully we can address everyone's concerns. If you do have further questions after this call, we're more than happy to ask them when as they come up and as they arise as well. So we just want to introduce ourselves first. I'm Chris, the head of global research, and I'm very, very excited for everyone to be part of this process. And
I'm Tisha, and I'm a researcher. I work with Chris, and yeah, pumped to be here.
Yes. Wonderful to have you all. So firstly, I want to go through the timeline and expectations that we're outlining. Firstly, the voting process will be from July the 8th, which is a Monday, till Monday the 22nd of July. And both of the cutoff time will be midnight on Monday the 22nd of July. In terms of the time expectations over those 2 weeks, we're expecting it will be roughly take around about 10 hours. And so if you divide that into roughly 5 hours each week, that's the kind of time budget that you're looking to allocate. For each Academy member, we'll be sending a list of 25 innovations to focus on. So for each of those innovations, you want to be spending a minimum of 10 minutes per innovation. So that's just to outline what to expect over those time periods. In terms of signing up and starting this process, basically you'll need a HundrED account if you haven't already created one. And then from there, we'll be sending an email with a short list, which will include an Excel spreadsheet that will have links to the innovation pages that you will review. And I just want to share a screenshot with you. So I'll share my screen. Stop. Can everyone see my screen?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Yes.
Fantastic. So when you have been invited to to vote, and you have a button here. Can everyone see that? So that tends to be a point of confusion for some people. So when you click on the innovation page or you click on the link, a vote button will appear here. And so all you do is click on that to make your evaluation. In terms of the evaluation, once that starts, we've simplified things from last year. So quite a number of you, I think, have already been Academy members from last year. And so we've changed everything from last year to be a bit more simple and also to address some of the issues that came up from previous times. So it's going to be a simple two-step process. Firstly, you're going to be, I'll just bring up this graphic here. So you'll be sent this information. You'll be, it'll be based on two criteria, impact and scalability. So our definition of impact is let me know if you can't clearly hear things. And there'll be opportunities for questions shortly. But our definition of impact is to as an invaluable improvement within the context, and it must have at least 1 year of being implemented with its intended users. The shortlist that you'll receive will likely already have some of these aspects. So we've done an initial evaluation and whittled the initial submissions down to a few that we think have the potential to be selected. And then the scalability aspect is evaluated as either the innovation is actively scaling or has a high potential to scale. So that means that the innovator that's leading the innovation is intentionally trying to scale in other countries, or say it's an idea or practice that's can adopt in another part of the world without the innovator's help. So that we'll go through a few examples of that shortly as well. So there'll be a voting tool that will look like this graph. And so on one axis, you'll have the impact scale, and on the other axis, you'll have the scalability criteria. And so if there's these four quadrants. So in the bottom quadrant, you've got an innovation that you might evaluate as low impact and low scalability. And on the opposite axis, this is what we're looking for of high impact and high scalability. And we'll go through a few examples. And you'll click where you think the innovation might sit within that. And then below, you'll give your comments and reasons for that. So within these comments, I really want to emphasize that you want, we want specific reasons. And in particular, we want red flags. So anything from your area of expertise within education, if you identify a red flag, we want to know about it. Those are the comments that are most useful to us. But also, what are the main reasons why you might think it's good as well? So if you if I identified something as high scalability but low impact, you might give a specific reason why you think it has a low impact based from your area of expertise. And so why we want lots and lots of Academy members is so we get this range across the spectrum of education of perspectives, also a global perspective of this innovation in terms of its potential and scalability. So they're designed to be simple and to emphasize the importance of really diving deeply into the innovation itself. So when you're looking at an innovation, we have our information on the innovation page, but we encourage you to look at the website and any materials that you can find. If you're with research as well, you can include your area of expertise on research, although we don't really emphasize that. We don't expect you to look up journals and research articles about the area of innovation to see whether it's pedagogically sound or not. Yeah, I think that is mainly it. in terms of the voting tool, the development team is still working on this visual, but I can show you a very, very quick prototype. I might need to bring it up. I just have to stop my sharing tool there for a second before I bring it up. Just bear with me for 30 seconds. Okay. Here we go. So can everyone see my screen again? Can everyone see my screen?
Yeah.
Right. Okay, so this is the prototype voting tool that we have. It's going to probably look slightly different, but it's not going to be too much different. Basically, you click where you think it sits for both impact and scalability. So horizontal is scalability, vertical is impact. And so if you identify something as low impact and low scalability, you might click somewhere around here. And so if I click, say there, you'll notice the little numbers that come up, 30 and 32. We don't want you to focus too much on these numerical values. We want you to be more intuitive in terms of how you feel about, based on your expertise and experience in education, about whether something might be low impact or low scalability or vice versa. So an innovation that you might look at might have high impact but low scalability, meaning that it requires a lot of input and resources to implement. And so you might click something like this, and that might be your answer. And then you'll give your comments, specific comments, as the reason that might be. And conversely, you might consider an innovation to be highly scalable, but it has a low impact in that area of innovation. And so you'll give your reasons for that. And ideally, we would find many innovations which will be both high impact and high scalability, and have high scalability. So one thing to clarify is that we don't want you to be comparing apples and oranges with innovations. And so an application like Kahoot that many of you may be aware of is totally different to a whole school model, where there might be a couple of whole school models where they are taking a whole new approach to education. Or there might be like just an idea, like flexible seating. You know, the idea of having a flexible seating arrangement within your classroom, and so that might be highly scalable. So we don't want you to be comparing innovations across those different types of innovations, but we want you to think about, from your area of expertise and from your experience, would this innovation work within your context and within your experience and within your expertise about what you know. So it's not really about comparing innovation to innovation. So I hope that makes some sense. And so Khadija is going to be going through a couple of examples of this. So I'll bring it up.
Yeah, we'll start with Shadow a Student.
Shadow a Student.
So I'll just go through kind of the process when looking at the innovation page. So for Shadow a Student, the idea is that a principal follows a student and gains a new perspective on what it's like to be a student in their school. And now Shadow a Student is implemented in one country, as you can see, but it has a high potential to scale because the idea can be transferred to many different types of schools and also in different countries. So that's something that could be in the top right-hand corner, because it is high potential to scale and also has a high impact. And then the second example is Hay Schools. So the idea behind Hay Schools is a preschool that brings and celebrates the excellence of the Finnish education system. So this is a high impact because it's bringing the idea of play and outside learning to different areas where it's necessarily not highlighted, but it is also being implemented in 8 different countries. So it's showing that it is scaling already. So that could also be a high impact, high scalable innovation.
You can see down here that some of the different countries that some of these innovations have scaled to, and similarly with Shadow a Student down here. So this one has a high potential to scale, meaning that it could be implemented in Russia, for instance, or parts of Africa or Brazil. Or so you might have many questions, and this is the opportunity to ask those. For anyone that has them. I'll stop sharing my screen.
Hey, this is Tyler from Atlanta. I have a question.
Yes.
Sure.
This looks fantastic. Thanks for sharing. One question about impact has to do with the impact on whom. I could see innovations that have impact on the students, on the teacher, on the school leaders, at the site level, at the system level, sort of community level. Are we basically thinking about impact on any of these users, or is there a particular user in specifically that we should be keeping in mind?
Yeah, so like on the innovation page, it should have listed as intended users, and I think we would rather just to focus on that. It does get a little bit broad in terms of when you're looking at whole school models, you have to think about across all the different stakeholders involved with that. But I think most of the time it's going to be intended users will be students within a certain age range, and then to mostly focus on that aspect rather than necessarily on teachers or the wider scheme of things.
Great, thank you.
We just had there's a chat, so you could give it top right quadrant, but simply don't like the initiative. We give our professional opinion. Yes, so I think what is most valuable is to get this range, this rich, diverse range of perspectives from experts in innovation. Experts in education. So whether you're a maths teacher or whether you're a school leader or whether you're at more of a governmental level or a university level, I think it all really helps us to understand collectively what are the red flags, what are the potential successes of a particular innovation. And those perspectives might differ. And so we really want to emphasize that you judge it from your professional opinion. Any other questions? Fire away. So, like, hopefully, I know there's a few Academy members who were involved in last year's process. It'll be a bit easier from last year, and it's a bit more manageable.
Okay, cool. So I just have a small query here. Could you please share that screenshots that you just took us through on the email after this call? I mean, that would really help us to go through on a later stage while we are actually evaluating these innovations.
Absolutely. So we'll with the emails that we'll send, we'll give complete instructions about how to sign up, what their voting instructions are, the definitions, and all that kind of thing. Again, if any of you have any questions at any stage, please don't hesitate to ask them through email.
Thank you. Yeah.
I was anticipating there'll be thousands of questions.
Same.
So that's a good sign.
Yeah. Yes, we will link the recording to everyone and send it out by email. This one and the next one too. So if anyone in the next one has questions, you'll be able to hear them as well.
You give an example of a low scale and low impact innovation, but any kind of an example for innovation. Yeah, I don't do that because I don't want to disadvantage anyone. Because at this stage, I could probably think of a few examples that perhaps we would never consider.
Yeah, because these ones are the ones that we'll be sending out are ones that we've gone through and that we've identified, or at least showing some impact and are either scaling or have the potential to scale. So none of the innovations should really be low impact, low scalability, unless you've realized that we've missed something and there's a red flag there. And then that's kind of when you can let us know and we'll take it into consideration for sure. That's a good note to have.
Yeah, I think when you identify something as low on either the two factors, just give specific reasons why you think that is the case from your area of expertise.
Yes, hi, hello. Is there a way to contact or I mean, like, I don't know, last year we had the there was like kind of like the opportunity to look more into or contact the innovator to get for more information. It's there any, I mean, like if we think we need to get more information to clarify or our voting, is it a tool there? Because I don't know if you talk about that.
I'm not, I think you can get in touch with the innovator through the interested button. So I'll just share my screen just so everyone knows where that is. So let's say you're reviewing Hay Schools. You can click on the interested button here and you can get in touch with the contact information there to ask further questions. And that should be linked directly to the innovator themselves.
Okay, thank you.
Chris, is that something you recommend the Academy to do? Or because I'm just wondering if 20 email the same innovation, like I'm just wondering.
If you have a really burning question, I think it can be potentially something you do, although it's definitely something we don't expect. So, like I said, we're trying to get a diverse range of perspectives from experts in education about this innovation, rather than for them to do an in-depth review, because we're going to be interviewing all of these innovators in depth, so you don't need to do that work. So you just think about it from your area of expertise and your experience. Will this work for you? Yeah. But if you do have really burning questions, perhaps think about contacting us before you go here, because we may have already found out some of that information.
Okay, so maybe we can just leave a note like maybe more information or more data will clarify this, and then you can take over.
Yes, absolutely. That will be perfect, actually, because it'll be a bit too much to contact all the innovators. They might be inundated. I'll stop that sharing screen.
Are there any more questions beyond email?
I don't think we're going to be have a chat room for the academy. I think I don't want you to discourage you all from communicating with one another, but I really want you to think about it from your perspective, rather than trying to take in other people's perspectives along with your review. Yeah, because I think that, again, I think that diverse range of perspectives is what we want to help us inform the decision making.
So, Chris, again, you're going to send us all the innovations, or because I remember when I did it last year and the year before, you just gave a few to me and, you know, sorted it out with the rest. So there were about, I think we had to go through about, I had to go through about 15, 16. Are you going to follow the same process?
Yeah, so we're organizing them into packets of 25. And so each academy member will receive a packet of 25 innovations.
Okay.
That would be total. And so you're looking to spend a minimum of 10 minutes on each innovation, and just try to dive deeply into it. See what you can find out.
Okay.
Great questions, by the way. I was expecting all these very challenging questions. It's actually been really good.
Yeah, I guess if there's no more questions, I don't see any more in the chat.
So just, you know, I mean, not a question, but I'm sure, I mean, HundrED is going to take care of my beer if I'm there in Finland. I think it's a pretty, you know, easy process, and with the kind of support that you guys are giving, I mean, I'm pretty, you know, confident that, you know, no one will face any issues over there. And of course, you can go back to this video and the PDF that you're going to send along with the mail. So I don't see it as a difficult or a rocket science. Even, you know, we in India, we are very, you know, good in judging. So I think, you know, that's not a problem.
Good, that's great to hear.
That's really fun, because we're trying to have a new process this year that's a bit more simplified from previous years, and hopefully we can encourage as many people to experts in education to look at these innovations, so we can make a really informed decision about the final global collection. Yeah. So if there are no more questions, feel free to reach out to us at any stage. Thank you all so much for agreeing to be part of this process. It is a huge help to us. It's a really essential part of the process. And yeah, we're really looking forward to hearing all of your reviews and hearing all of your comments. And hopefully you enjoy the process and find value in it. Yeah.
So thank you very much, and
Thank you very much.
Thank you.